evening, and welcome to Off the Lip, the show about surfing and skateboarding. If you'd like to join the show tonight, give us a call at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, here are your hosts for tonight's program, Neil Perlberg and Terry Campion.
Good evening and welcome to the Off the Lip radio show, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California. Recording the surf and skate capital, recording the surf and skate history of our town and beyond. And we're starting early tonight, TC.
Oh, man.
We got Rich and Doug over here. They're rehearsing.
Doug just looked over at me and he goes, "So what's the show about tonight?" It's about you. It's silly.
Well, you got to tell him because he may forget.
Well, when Novak got here, he said he had to wake Doug off the couch, right, Rich? Is that what it was?
He was a little. He forgot.
That's how important we are.
Well.
Okay, we're going to start the show. I'm going to start the show by congratulating Rosie Chalmers from the morning show, Good Morning Monterey Bay, who today became a U.S. citizen.
Oh, good.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations to Rosie. So, big shindig here Friday, apparently. Big breakfast shindig. So, Rich, if you're driving by, come by and grab some breakfast.
It's way before my time in the morning.
Does that mean she's going to lose the accent?
No, the accent's not going. Accent's not going.
Okay.
She might grow a beard.
Oh, boy. Hey, come on now.
Huh?
Hey, let's talk. First off, I just wanted to say to you,
what did I do?
I would like to dedicate tonight's show to Tony Micocci.
Okay.
Who was a lifelong surfboard builder in this town. Worked for both of you guys. We can talk about that in a minute. And passed away this weekend after a long illness. And I think tonight it's appropriate to dedicate this show to Tony.
Okay. Can you go to give us a little bit? I got some stuff to do here. Can you talk about Tony for a second?
Which one of you? Tony started early 70s or something, right, Doug? Were you first or?
Yeah, I think he worked for me back in the late 70s. Yeah, early 70s, late 70s.
Glass and surfboards.
Yeah, glass. He was a glasser,
Yeah, he started with us and we had Solar Doug over on Thompson Avenue, yeah. But Tony goes back to the, 8 years old, 9 years old on the beaches. He was one of the guys you stepped on when he screwed up. It's like a speed bump.
Hold on. So when you met him, how old were you?
Oh, when I met Tony, I was probably, it's a confusing time. It's probably late teens.
Because I can imagine you must have been such a pain in his backside.
Well, no, Tony and Bob Shaw and Jay Sherman and I used to go to prize fights in the Latino district of San Jose, and we were the only Caucasians in the room. And imagine being in a room with Tony Micocci and Bob Shaw.
That'd be exciting for sure.
It was close.
And original part of the Pleasure Point Surfing Club time too?
Pleasure Point Surfing Association.
Association, yes, sorry.
Yeah, that was Phillips's and those guys' creation, and we got, it was kind of like a club that wasn't a club, and the rules were there is no rules, and it was in kind of an anti-club thing. And people today, there's T-shirts around and stuff that...
Yeah,
and Tony was all part of that. That whole Tom Keenholz, Tony, Jimmy Phillips, they were a little bit behind us in age. So,
and Jim Phillips started that association.
Jimmy and Tony and Keenholz, and I can't remember all the other guys out there. There was this little tight group out at Pleasure Point, and all of us were in it. But we were like maybe 10 years older than them, 8 years older than them. So,
they were the godfathers.
Yeah. How was it working with Tony in a work environment?
Tony was probably one of the best glassers that are out there. Mike Wash was probably a little bit better than him, but Tony was really, really good at colors and pin lines. It's hard to beat the guy.
Craftsman.
Yeah.
And when you were doing Santa Cruz surfboards, I read somewhere he was involved glassing those boards as well.
Yeah, he was starting to break into his career then. And he just ended up being a really good craftsman. And, he spent his life doing it. Again, in the surf industry, really good craftsmen, they get rewards after the fact.
I know, it's silly how that is. Yeah. And another glasser succumbs to cancer.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
is the correlation there? Who knows? But we know it's toxic, and it's probably not the best environment to work in.
Everything's toxic.
Yeah,
It's just
I heard
all
peanut butter.
moderation.
And let's talk about that, Doug. How many times have you think you washed your hands in acetone in your life?
When I was younger, quite a few times, but that stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I used to stick my athlete's foot in acetone to get rid of it.
That'll kill it.
Oh, geez.
And then I know glossers that we used to keep our catalyst in Coors beer bottles. And I know guys that Dave Pussinger used to drink it. No.
Well, by accident.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
Right. Well, and that stuff's been cleaned up. Neil, what do you got?
You listen, in case you tuned in a little late, you were tuned in to the Off the Lip Radio Show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What else are we on? YouTube. Tonight's guests are Mr. Doug Haut and Mr. Rich Novak, who are joining us now for the fourth time? Is this the fourth time, Rich? Third time?
Third time.
I mean,
fourth time if you include Roscoe.
That's right, I had Roscoe. We've been scouring through the decades. We started with the 50s, went with the 60s, 70s, and now tonight we're going to talk about the 80s.
Wow.
Doug, what happened in the 80s? You remember?
No, time warp. No.
I forgot that decade. How about if we start with Rich? Maybe Rich can jog your memory in a couple of things that may have taken place.
Richard's Mr. History. He knows all.
Until I get corrected by Doug.
Can we start?
He
How
rewrites
was
it.
things in the 80s, Rich?
Well, for me on the skate side, it was. I came out of the '70s, the late '70s, in a pretty bad situation, and the '80s was a sprint. I mean, it was oblivious. The skateboarders took off, and there was about 3 of us in the whole industry that were running hot and heavy through that time. So it was a.
Why did it take off at that time? Do you think?
I think it was set up properly.
Okay.
We came out of the '70s.
Were you part of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were. I probably came out better than most everybody. I hate to brag, but
Just go ahead and brag.
yeah, we did a pretty good job of it in town. Low rent, low square footage, and rapid inventory turns.
What took off the most?
Everything was knocking it. The trucks, the wheels, the decks, the riders. It was probably the last great time in skateboarding where the industry was an industry and actually controlled itself.
Okay.
And later it got subverted into other areas.
Okay.
And surfing wise,
Did that jog your memory a little bit, Doug? No. It's the 80s. It's okay.
Doug was-
forgot the 80s.
Doug was my conscience in the 80s. He would come by and say, "You're really a jerk. You're not doing anything anymore. You're no fun."
Did fishing come to a complete stop during the 80s for you?
Pardon?
There we go. I'm back in.
For me, almost everything came to a stop.
Did it?
For Doug, he continued on.
How was? Come on, Doug. You got to remember just a little bit about that period. I mean, we're talking Donna Summer. We're talking John Travolta.
Is this disco?
Well, I know something about the 80s, and Doug is like, we put 3 fins on a surfboard, and all hell broke loose for about 6 years of surfboard design.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
And for me personally, as a kid, I
was that
saved
the
my
80s?
pennies
That
for
was
a
the
Haut
80s?
surfboard.
That was the 80s?
That was the 80s, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you were, in my opinion, you were
Well, I got a
top of the game.
Well, Richard Schmidt was in surfing on the competitive tour over there in Hawaii, and he came back with this tri-fin. He says, "Doug, you got to try this thing." He says, "It's unreal." So I looked at it and I went, "Okay." So we just got into it, and that was probably the introduction of the tri-fin in the Santa Cruz area. I mean, it just went Richter after that.
What board you put it on?
Little boards, little like 6'2", 6'4".
Remember those
small
days,
boards.
TC?
Oh, yeah. Well, we were all riding twin fins, and all of a sudden Simon Anderson shows up in Hawaii with this 3-fin board, and that's probably the year he came back. And
Yeah, we were riding little small 510s and twin fins and all kinds of stuff.
it sucked to be a kid because the cool kids got 3 fins. So if you weren't, like if you didn't have the rich parents, you still had to ride a twin fin.
No, that was a real big design changer for the surfboard industry. Yeah.
It was huge. Novak, I got a quick question for you. 1979, how many skateboards did your company produce?
Skateboards?
Yeah.
Probably, we were probably doing 7,000 to 10,000 a month.
And then 1984.
Probably 50 plus.
$1,000 a month?
Yeah.
How was it stressful? I mean, it just seems when I think of Santa Cruz and the growth it had during that time. I mean, is that you're gonna put your hat off and say that's how I lost
Check my hairline.
Because that's a trying time. You've told me a few times that you had, like you almost went out of business a couple of times during the 80s in skateboarding too.
Oh yeah. Well, you had no banking relationship, so everything was self-capitalized. So the whole trick was to roll your inventory fast and self-capitalize. So we were rolling our inventory 22 times a year. And then we'd have to, because banks wouldn't really deal with us, we'd have to figure out.
Why wouldn't they deal with you?
Look at me.
I'm sure.
Look at him in 1980.
He didn't have the Brooks Brothers suit on.
But you
and with the 40th anniversary and all this attention, you had this like dream team going on during the 80s.
Well, not only in the business side of it, we had this
the whole package.
team, but the package was all together. It's one of those things of where I guess all the stars line up. The riders we had.
With who?
Well, we had Roscoff and Nadas and Christian and, all the guys at the time. But I talked to Stacy a while back for a whole day, and he brought the Bones Brigade to me before he brought it to Powell. And I told him that the Bones Brigade was a little bit too left rudder for me, too nice. I needed to have. I was like the Oakland Raiders. I wanted the Dwayne Peters and the Steve Olsons and the Salbas and the guys that were on the edge.
Do you regret that or no?
Not at all.
Are you kidding me? He practically invented punk rock. What are you talking about, Neil?
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
well, don't get me going over here. Come on.
Get you going, TC.
These guys had clean T-shirts and stuff. My guys, you'd have to throw the stuff out of the car. They smelled so bad.
Right.
And those guys, they were just really interesting to be around, just to try to hold it all together. It was like herding cats with those guys. But it was all part of it. It was all fun,
Made you look clean and
well,
didn't it, Doug? Huh? I mean,
I don't know.
clean as a whistle. You were no part of that.
What's interesting with Haut is that in 1980, Doug Haut was making skateboards. Mm-hmm. And I think in the history of skateboarding, you don't really get a lot of coverage in that department. But you had some guys on your skateboard program that were. And did Rich help you with that then, or were you guys talking about it?
No,
he had a really good team.
Yeah, we had a really good team.
Of consisting
Kevin
of?
Reed. Kevin Reed was probably the star. And we had, I can't remember them all now, but there's some really good riders. Yeah, they made their dent. Yeah.
In the industry?
Yeah.
You told me once that you still had a Haut longboard. You still got that?
Yes, I do.
The skateboard?
Yes, I do.
Good. I'm glad you still got that.
Didn't see that in the museum, did you?
It's probably the last. It's probably the last one. It was a 36-inch cutaway kicktail.
Can we get it in the museum? Are you keeping it?
My daughter's got grabs on it.
Brianna has it?
Yes.
All right. Good for her.
Not going to get that one.
No.
So that can just continue through the 80s to increase, Rich? Did it taper off? And did you get a break?
Not really in the 80s. The 80s was a tough time. 89, it kind of did a face plant again. And in 89, about 87, I talked to all the guys in the industry, the pals, the San Francisco guys, and said, in about 2 years, this thing's going to take a dump. We should prepare for it. And nobody prepared for it except the guys in San Francisco.
Okay.
Fausto and them.
Okay. TC?
Well, was your dad helping you out a lot during that time?
Pardon?
Your father, was he around helping you a lot during that time?
Oh, my father had to sit and listen to me. That's about it. He would just listen to me bitch.
But do you think during that era he thought you were crazy?
Oh, absolutely. He thought I was crazy when I was probably 15.
And your mom had faith in you?
I just think they were both kind of like trying to figure out where we were going to go. Because Doug and I from 18 or 19 on were together, and then my mother and dad treated Doug like their son. And sometimes they'd just scratch their head and look at us and go, well, I hope it turns out okay. This isn't looking too good now.
Well, and look at you now.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Off-Lip Radio Show. Before we go to the next break, I just wanted to let you know that the Santa Cruz Surf Film Festival starts tomorrow night.
I'm wearing my hat.
September 24th through 26th, they are at the Rio Theater and the Del Mar. I was a judge of 19. I was one of the judges of the 19 movies.
Okay, hold it. 19
Yes.
movies. Which one's your favorite?
The Old, the Young, and the Sea.
There you go.
It was a great flick. There was some awesome. They were all great videos. Great movies. It was a lot of fun. So go check that out. Also, the Freeline Design has a film, as a cultural surf film promoted by Freeline Surf Shop, Bella Vita, on the October 15th at 7:30. Buy your tickets at tugg.com, Tugg, or click on Freeline's link on Facebook for more info. Reserve your seat today. Tickets are sold only until October the 6th. This is Neil and TC with the Off the Lip Radio Show here tonight with Mr. Doug Haut and Mr. Rich Novak. We'll be right back after this very short break. Thinking of a vacation in Santa Cruz? Then contact Beach Nest Vacation Rentals at 831-722-0888 to make your reservation. The very best local vacation management company with their staff will take care of the tiniest of details to better your memorable Monterey Bay holiday. They are pet friendly with a choice of homes on or close to the beach in Santa Cruz and the Central Coast. For further information, go to beachnest.com or follow them on Facebook. Toyota Santa Cruz is under construction, building a state-of-the-art facility at their current location on 41st Avenue and Highway 1. Julie Frigoli, the general manager, would like to invite you all to take advantage of their need for room while all the heavy equipment is on their facility. She would like to inform you that there is no time like now to get unbelievable savings on a new Toyota or one of their certified pre-owned vehicles, and that their highly rated parts and service is still open 7 days a week. So now is the time to take advantage of their mess. Head down to Toyota Santa Cruz or check them out online at santacruztoyota.com.
Hi, this is Steve Pereira, the beach guy at Bailey Properties in Santa Cruz, California. If you're looking for a beach home or a coastal property, give us a call at 831-818-7064, or you can call my wife Diane at 831-818-5939, or drop in on our website at lifesabeach.com and check out all the inventory in all price ranges. We've been selling beach properties since 1982. We're here to help you. Give us a call today.
And we are back with the Off the Lip Radio Show on KSCO. We're also streamed live on the surfchannel.com. After the show is over, you can catch it again on YouTube, or you can catch the podcast tomorrow on offthelipradio.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, tweeting. If you want to call in tonight, speak to these two fine young men, Mr. Doug Haut, Mr. Rich Novak. The phone number is 831-479-1080. Again, 831-479-1080. Remember the first call we got, Rich?
Pat Burke.
Yeah. The homosexual phone call?
Yeah, well, he's kind of, he's a little left rudder. You got to kind of take it. Pat Burke.
Oh, man. You'll never hear the end
I'll
of
never
that
forget
one.
that.
Yeah.
I was a rookie here, and like, what the hell is that?
Wow.
Yeah, but we shut him up pretty quick.
You shut him up pretty quick. That was a great comeback. This portion of the show is brought to you by Felix Sand Dollar Ding Repair, who announced this week, big announcement, he is no longer fixing stand-up paddleboards. If you have a stand-up paddleboard, do not take it to Felix. His back is done. Over.
Wow.
He's over it.
Well, hold it, though. I heard that he's not taking wave riding vehicles over 10 feet. That's what I heard. What size stand-up paddleboard do you ride?
710.
He'll take yours.
I don't think so.
What? 710? I heard it's 10 feet and bigger. That's the rumor.
Okay,
Felix,
Felix,
if you're
clear it.
listening, call in.
Yeah, call in, Felix. We're unclear of what you will and will not fix.
Your SUP is a 710.
Yeah.
See, there you have it. There should be a rule: nothing over 8 feet.
And if he does want to, if you do want your SUP, or actually, if you do want your surfboard fixed, he will fix it
pronto.
Very pronto. Okay, tonight's trivia question. Last week's guest, Mr. Jeff Denholm, had a horrific fishing accident on what sea?
That's a good one. I remember that.
You like that?
Well, because that
like
story.
That question?
If you didn't hear that story, you should listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that was an amazing story. The guy's a beast. So he lost his arm in a fishing accident on Watt Sea, and you win that. Tonight's prize is what?
It's going to be a Santa Cruz skateboard deck.
Santa Cruz skateboard deck.
Courtesy
call the number
of Richard
3.
Novak. Thank you, Richard.
Throw it in.
That's a way.
Call number 3, 831-479-1080. On the phone right now, we have Nick from Royal Oaks. Maybe he has to answer the question. Hey, Nick, how's it going, buddy?
Nice. I got the most bizarre kicktail story. But first of all, these guys had a point of view of Alaska, I believe, while the hurricane swell was going on. Do you have any stories of seeing any waves?
No, we were looking at silver salmon.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
fly fishing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that swell, but it was slanted just for Alaska.
Well, it pushed the fish up the river that we got to catch.
Doug has rotator cuff injury from hauling in so much salmon.
The mid-'80s for me was a Haut mini nose rider. I think it was 7/8. I mean, you could take off hanging 5 on that thing.
Those are good boards.
It was so crafted well.
Still got it?
Hello?
You still got it,
Yeah.
Nick?
Good.
I'm sorry I don't, because I think Doug lost the plate.
Oh.
I do have a hybrid that was like it almost started in the 90s. And I'm going for an 8-footer, but you should be paying Doug triple right now, but I can't even get on regular score.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Nick. Would you accept one of Doug's boards, because he's now doing a lot of his shaping with a computer? Would that be acceptable for you?
If it's Doug Haut's board, yes. I just want it on regular phone blanks.
Okay, so if Doug's now tuning up his board, shaping them on computer, you're good to go. You accept that board.
I got a question and a story.
All right, go ahead. Well, you're getting some time.
When the
You're getting some
kicktail
time,
came
Nick.
out, what was the timing of the kicktail? Did it come out down south, or you just right on it, or what? What was the timing?
You mean the kicktail for the skateboard?
Yes.
Oh, I think that it probably came out first in the 60s, and then we kind of, when the veneer boards came out, we kind of made it a molded kicktail, where before it was you'd laminate a kicktail on the board. But I don't think there's any one person that can take credit for that. It was one of those things.
No, you came up, it kind of sparked me when you said Tim from Marta came to you with an idea. And I have a story behind Tim.
Oh, cool.
I grew up in San Jose in Cambrian Park, and let's see, in the 70s, I had neighbors like Ames Research, and they knew about it, but they were not talking about it because of things you do with it, on the rails and everything. But I was getting kind of prepped with it, and I got deep six. And Tony Carter, one day, I just glued Tony. One day he just pressed Tim. Tim was just right in my face. What is it? Because I was acting bizarre, and I said, "There's got to be some work on the tail. Go get quick." And that's how it happened. But who came out first? You or down south? I thought the timing was really close.
Like on the veneer boards, we did, because we were the first to come out with it on the veneer boards. On the glue-ons, that, like I say, that could go maybe Logan, Alva, probably Logan at that time, because they were the guys that had the solid oak boards with a glued wood kicked on the back. That kind of stuff was going across the board. Kids were experimenting everywhere with it. So it's a hard...
That was revolutionary with going airs is everything right now.
Yeah, but also
and you just got somebody to follow. It's been done, going in on Mavericks. It was so easy for Twiggy, but Flea and those other guys, it really took some spills to get in there.
Hey, Nick, thanks for giving us a call tonight. We do appreciate you calling.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Well, he's talking about the Santa Cruz 5-ply, right? That was the board that had the taper to it.
Yeah, it was a taper, but then the kicktail, it's like any kid would nail a piece of wood on the tail of his board, and they call it a kicktail.
Right. Back then, they were probably doing wheelies.
Yeah. But you can't, you really couldn't go there. We were steam bending boards with kicktails on them, solid oak and hickory boards with kicktails on them, but the best ones came out when we started pressing wood.
Yeah, when you do the plywood layers, you could, when you put them all together, you could put them in a mold and press them with the kicktail already in it.
Right. And I liked how we mentioned Tim Primarda.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of a lot of the 80s innovation that went on, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, Tim was, nobody's coming close to him. This stuff, that we've got on the board is so advanced that I don't even know if it would sell it so far out there.
Okay, on the phone right now we have Randy from Corralitos. Randy, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, good. I'm on speaker. I just,
fine.
I'll make a couple quick stories short.
Sure.
First, I want to say I've got plenty of boards from Doug. I don't know Rich or Doug personally, but I've met him. Tim from Florida, shout out to him. I knew him back in, 79. And we went snowboarding once down at Wrightwood, California with Scott Summers, Tony Carter, Tim from Florida, a couple other guys, when we had the first prototypes of a Sims board with a skateboard bolted to it with a bicycle inner tube tire holding us down.
Wow.
And it was awesome.
I still have that board.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've met Doug a few times. The other thing is Scott Summers, too. He's still around. I have a boat in the harbor, and he's still in the harbor. And I want to say Doug Haut is the master of all surfboards of all times. And I lived in Puerto Rico for a couple of years, and I had to sleep on my surfboard. This was back in the 80s, because every Floridian, Puerto Rican, East Coaster was trying to steal it from me. Because it was a Doug Haut board.
Well, and that's why Doug's in the Hall of Fame, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to say, I love your guys' show, and those both Rich and Doug, they've done well for our county and employed people. And Rich, just tell Tim it's from Randy Sharp and Corralitos, and I'm saying hi.
So if you want to take another run on that board, I'd be willing to film it.
Yeah, well, it was a single fin. I don't really have it anymore.
No, I mean the snowboard.
He's talking about the snowboard there,
snowboard.
Randy.
Oh, the snowboard, yeah. No, I don't have that either.
All right.
No, I got it.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks,
I'm sorry.
Randy, for calling
Hey,
me.
you guys have a great show. Have a good night. Thank you.
Buddy. And we
Thanks, man.
got Steve from Santa Cruz here. Steve, buddy, how's it going?
Hey, good, thanks. What we're really looking at is the synthesis of these two guys of the surf skate revolution that Santa Cruz is really famous for. I mean, everything that the skate revolution brought went directly within less than a month to the surf. Am I incorrect on that?
No, I'll tell you a little story. In the 70s, I took a VCR down to Gordon Clark's house, Clark Foam Guy, and we watched it in his living room. And he looked at me at the end of it, and he said, any pro surfer that doesn't take up skating is never going to make it because of the moves they were doing. So I think you're absolutely right.
Steve, go ahead, Steve.
Well, we got TC right there. I mean, all TC. I mean, from Derby Park right to the lane. I mean,
wait a minute.
That's me. Well, take me out of the equation, but I think you're exactly right on the fact that Santa Cruz is famous for a surfing and skateboard meshing environment. And I always say it since day one. In this town, you're born with a skateboard under one arm and a surfboard under the other. So I think you're on point with that.
Yeah.
Amen. I'm going to turn up. Great program, you guys.
Thank you.
Talk to you.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Getting some calls tonight, TC. They're bringing you up as a name.
Dude, I am a chump. But all I gotta say is I agree with what I think that was Pete, not Steve, if I'm not mistaken. It was Peter, but who's a longtime listener. That you guys are sort of ran this parallel thing where Doug was making these incredible surfboards in the 80s, and the success with the skate was going off, and there was your team had created this vibe with music, and it turned into being what Santa Cruz is known for.
Right.
And have you ever discussed that between yourselves, like what you actually created, not together?
Probably, but we forgot.
But I wanted to add, you know what? I think the city of Santa Cruz is finally realizing the influence of the surfers and the skateboarders in this town and what it brings into this town. And they're getting more friendly towards our industries, which is, I think, is great.
Yeah.
Friendly as far as, what do you mean by friendly?
Well, it's like we were kind of bandits. We were kind of outriders. We're outcasts. We were like Hell's Angels of
right.
Society. And they don't realize the revenue that we bring into this town. It's like they finally get the message.
You're trying to get it.
That we're for real.
We know
Okay,
it's
we got-
it's healthy.
It is healthy.
Yeah.
We've got JD from Live Oak on the phone. The JD?
Yes, indeed.
Woo! Yeah, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, how's it going, buddy?
Better and better, you know me.
We know you.
Hey, Richard, who's
Hey,
Dave Devine?
Dave Devine is probably the guy that surfed more waves in Santa Cruz than God.
You got that same line? I thought maybe that was a rumor, but really that came from you, huh?
Yeah, Dave, I go back to the 50s surfing with Dave. The best Dave Devine story was Steamer Lane in the 50s when somebody took off in front of him, and he was quite a swimmer, and he swam to shore before the guy got there, and he picks the guy's board up and points at it, and the guy waves like, thanks for saving it, then he threw it on the rocks.
Welcome to the lane, now go home.
And Dave was a great guy, great surfer, great Santa Cruzian, and he's just a really good friend.
Yeah. I was just curious, were you a speed bump in Dave's eyes as a young kid?
I was smart enough to stay away. I watched his act. No, I surfed well with Dave. Dave was like, he had his wave, you gave him his wave. And I came from the era of Dave and Alonzo Weimers and those guys where if you did become a speed bump, the foot goes on the head until the bubbles come up under the water, and then they'd let you up, and you kind of learned to paddle around the break, not through it. But, yeah.
Hey, JD, thanks for calling, buddy. We appreciate it.
See you later, Jeff.
All right, we got Logan from Carlitos on the phone. Carlitos is blowing up tonight.
It is.
How's it going?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I actually want to wish TC good luck for this weekend.
Hey, right on, Logan. Thanks for that. I need
Yeah,
it.
you got a double header tonight.
We're talking racing?
For this weekend.
Hold it. No. I think that's next week. Is that this weekend?
I thought it was this weekend.
I don't know. I know. I better check the schedule. I think maybe we might race Friday and Saturday this weekend. One time a year, we do it 2 nights in a row. Thanks, Logan. I appreciate that.
All right. No problem.
And
Bye.
I just got a text from somebody here. Somebody, it's a hush hush. Very, very QT. October 5th, TC.
Mm-hmm.
What's October 5th, Rich? Did you forget?
I absolutely forgot.
October 5th is Rich Novak Day.
Oh, that's right.
Proclamation from the city of Santa Cruz.
What the heck? See, they really do appreciate it.
Yes. October 5th.
Let's check a little brown nosing here, boys.
I thought they were trying to run you out of town.
That was when Mayor Hillary Bryant gave the double speech.
Yeah.
Right?
She gave a double speech and the double proclamation in front of all of my international people.
That's right. That was she did a good job.
Oh, she did a great job.
Yeah, that was
great.
it. She gave that the NHS museum opening.
Yeah, we have it posted or framed and put on the wall. It was so good. I guess that's what they call a Novak roasting.
There was you did get roasted that night.
Congratulations, though. Not everybody gets a day. And
I think he's got a day.
You got one too.
When's your day?
I think it's March 19th.
Johnny Rice has one now.
Johnny Rice.
Jack has one.
Jack's got one.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be. That's
there's
a
a Doug
company.
Haut. There's a Doug Haut day. When's the Doug Haut day?
Do we have carte blanche on those days?
Yeah,
or what?
because you still get tickets.
Get a free burger.
Nobody surfs on that day.
I think that
Except you.
My wave.
I think Lynn Robinson's the mayor right now. I think that they should give us like parking passes.
Something, yeah.
The Doug Haut day is in March, apparently.
19th, I think.
It's March 19th?
I think.
Okay, you're listening to the Off Lip Radio Show tonight with my guest host, my co-host, TC. Rich Novak is in the house. Doug Haut is in the house. This portion of the show is brought to you by Drug Free Solution. Offers a solution. No, TC, I don't know how much it is. Offers a solution for heroin and opiate addicts. The Detox Method is an app and takes only 3 dawn days. You can then move on to a 9-month program to cleanse addiction from your life physically, mentally, and emotionally. Learn more at drugfreesolution.com or follow them on Facebook. This is Neil and TC with the Off the Radio Show. We're on Facebook, Instagram, we tweet, we YouTube. We'll be right back up this extremely short break.
This is Brother Timmy.
And Cleo from Cleo's Corner at Pono Hawaiian Grill.
Featuring wraps, teriyaki bowls, plate lunches, amazing and creative salads, vegetarian and gluten-free options, and over 20 different types of poke, all made to order, fast, fresh, and healthy. And what's your favorite, Khalil?
The chicken fingers.
Located at 120 Union Street in downtown Santa Cruz. Call us for takeout at 831-426-PONO or check us out on the web at ponohawaiiangrill.com. We put the ono in Pono.
Hey, this is Susie from Flip Flop Shop Santa Cruz with a special offer for the Off the Lip radio show listeners. Now through April 15th, get 10% off when you mention the Off the Lip radio show and how much you love Neil and TC. We've got some great new styles and brands for spring, Sanook being one of them, happy, friendly, and fun. Check it out. We've listened to our customers. You guys have asked for arch support sandals. We got them, Bionic. You've also asked for larger sizes, now carrying 17 and selected brands and styles. Protect yourself with Sunny Sunbum Sunscreen. Flip Flop Shop Santa Cruz. We are located 1528 Pacific Avenue, downtown Santa Cruz. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Hi, this is Sherry from The Healthy Way, here with Neil from the Off the Lip radio show and the Our Local Sports Show, who successfully completed a weight loss program with us.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. I'm so stoked how I feel. How you and your staff helped me achieving my goal of losing 25 pounds. It truly was easy. And importantly, 3 months later, I'm still at my desired weight. I am feeling better, surfing better, and mention this KSCO ad for your free consultation with The Healthy Way.
Let us show you how you, too, can use our simple and easy program. Just give us a call at 831-462-5900 or take a look for yourself at thehealthyway.us or follow us on Facebook.
And we are back with the Off the Lip radio show on KSCO, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California. We are streaming live right now on the surfchannel.com. A lot of the information tonight brought to you on this live program is being brought to you by Brianna Haut, who's been texting me. She says she's too chicken to call in, but she said, Dad, she still wants her inheritance.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
She wants a skateboard.
Huh?
She wants a skateboard.
She wants a skateboard? No, she wants cash.
That to
Which
me.
team are you on?
I floated.
You're a straight cat guy?
I'm gonna be honest. I floated around, man. I had some weird sweaters and stuff I wore back then. I was kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those on Throwback Thursday on Facebook.
Right. So I mean, I kind of play both teams. I listened to reggae and did crazy stuff too. So, but that's I think is one of the, in my opinion, one of the pie factor successes of Santa Cruz skateboards in the '80s. The other is Jim Phillips. And I was going to try to sort of segue to Jim's contribution in the art aspect of the 80s.
Right. Yeah, Jim, we just let him go and really didn't have to do anything. Jim would take an idea and run with it. And his art, and you can take the Roscoff art, for example. He took a target with a fist, and then he made it into, in series of five, he made it into this totally intricate stuff. And I always look at Jimmy's art and I go, and I say there's the Pope in the pizza. There's always a message somewhere in his art. That's either, if it's a surf spot, there's got to be a wave or a skeleton or something in it. And
was there a particular piece that you cared for the most?
Jimmy came to me in the 90s, I think, and I always wanted him to paint, just paint. And I asked him for 32 paintings, acrylic paintings, and he did 22. And the artwork is up in my building. And you've seen it, yeah. And that's the artwork I like the most, because a lot of the artwork goes back to him and I growing up in Santa Cruz and surfing.
How did you first meet Jim?
He was coming down the stairs to Outside Pleasure, and me and another guy were the only guys surfing, and he asked if he could surf, and we said no.
Became best friends.
But he had this guy that was huge called John Evans, Big John, and so we had to okay, we can do that. We had to rethink that answer. But there was nobody in the water then. That's first met Jimmy, and then Jimmy was the go-to guy for anything you wanted to do to your car or later on. And then when I had Olson, he came in and did a lot of the glass work, but he was always an artist. He was always tinkering. And first stuff that I remember is he had this Murph the Surf thing going. And I don't know if it was before Murph the Surf or after, but he had the little character in there. And I know he sent it to Severson, and I don't know if Griffin ripped it or whatever, but that's the story for Jimmy to tell.
Right. Did you have any idea during that time that art was going to become so iconic?
No.
Yeah,
not at all. I mean, we were into making things, and we wanted to make stuff. And when Jimmy in the 80s it came in, and Powell, we were doing our deal, and then Powell started doing Dungeons and Dragons, and then Vision started doing their deal. And we just kind of let, wow, I think we got the top guy here. And to let Jimmy go, and then just let his mind go. I mean, his mind is out there.
When did the Santa Cruz logo come about? Was that during that
came
period?
About in the early 70s.
Okay, so that was already ongoing.
Yeah, that was the first logo we had that we used for Santa Cruz. And came along with before the Road Rider stuff. We started out with a strip.
Right.
And then took the strip and made it into a dot.
Okay.
Well, towards the end of the 80s, and there was a transition into shapes. Did you guys think that you were going to get through that transition? Was that a tough time?
The 80s kind of, like I said, I gave a talk to all these guys that were like the top of the industry that we got to prepare for the 90s, and nobody prepared for it. And I prepared for it, but everybody else got their socks knocked off. And that was part of it, and part of it was guys going out and saying, we want to sell cheap skateboards and we want to do this. And so it kind of ended the skateboard deck business as it was in the 70s and 80s. It took the profit out of it.
Okay. You've been listening to the Off-Road Radio Show here tonight with Mr. Rich Novak, Mr. Doug Haut, my co-host TC. We got Bob in the house from Suda down the street. Nice to have. We have one person in the audience. This portion of the show is brought to you by Foodsmith. It's about sustainable results from a health and fitness physique, TC. How's
I'm
it
working
going?
on it.
How's the fitness physique going?
It's going the wrong way right now.
I know. They open up a Marianne's right by my house. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
But Foodsmith will help you maintain a healthy lifestyle that tastes great. So maybe something along those lines is going to help you. They've got no fads, just high-quality, chef-driven gourmet meals right to your dinner table. Of course, all with organic ingredients. Doug? All crafted by local restaurateur Jamie Smith. Mr. Novak, myfoodsmith.com. Be kind to yourself. We'll be right back after this very short break.
Hi, this is Jeff Warnerhalder from North Bay Ford, proud to sponsor the Off the Radio Show. We're here to support the local surf community with a full inventory of trucks, hybrids, and plug-in hybrids. Come see why the F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle for 39 years. We have the perfect surf vehicle in stock, the new 2015 Ford Transit van. We have a model that will fit your needs. Come to the no-hassle, easy place to buy a car, no stress, no drama. We make it easy for everybody. We're locally owned, locally operated. North Bay Ford at 1999 SoCal Avenue or www.northbayford.com.
Santa Cruz own beautiful De La Vega Golf Course offers you 18 or 9 holes and a lighted driving range that has 40 stalls, so you're almost guaranteed a spot. Check out their great deal. You can buy a county discount card and save each time you play. The card is just $50, and that lets you save around 25% of green fees for 1 year from the date of purchase. Head professional Tim Blaustalot and his staff invite you to come and play one of the finest golf courses in Northern California. For further information, go to delavegagolf.com or book your tee time by calling 831-423-7214.
What is your favorite wave? What if it were gone tomorrow? We at Save the Waves Coalition are dedicated to preserving and protecting our waves and coastlines around the world. From Chile to Bali, Mexico to Peru, and right here in our own backyard of Santa Cruz. Become a member today and help us protect these special spots. Mention Off the Lift Radio and receive a special membership bonus. Visit www.savethewaves.org and become a member of the coalition. That's savethewaves.org.
Chill Out Cafe on 41st Avenue, Santa Cruz is not just a block from some of the world's best surf, but it is also where you can go relax and order the tastiest grub before and after your sesh. Plump burritos, fresh salads, sky-high sandwiches, and a superb selection of hot and cold drinks. They have something for you. Go to chilloutcafesantacruz.com to view their menu, and to place your order to go, call 831-477-0543. Chill Out Cafe, where they roll the fatties.
And we are back with the Off the Radio Show. Doug, you done? Doug, you done with your phone call with Brianna, or was it over? Your phone call. We're
cool.
Yeah, Rich, take your message.
We're cool.
We're cool.
Yeah.
Brianna's. Gosh, she's got a lot of airtime tonight.
She really
Brianna.
wants that inheritance, huh?
She's checking on it.
She's looking at my balls.
You still alive, Dad? Just check it in.
I thought you gave me the balsa board.
You got one.
If you want to call in tonight, 831. That is 831-479-1080. And want to catch the rest of the show, we're streaming live on the Surf Channel. Mr. Novak, apparently you surfed the other day with Mr. Jack O'Neill. Is that correct?
Yeah, in his big chair in his living room with a pair of binoculars.
How's Jack doing?
He's doing good.
Is he?
He's
still surfing from that big chair?
What I did is I went into the house. We visit him about once a month or so, and went into his house. He has a chair overlooking the ocean with these really good binoculars that, you can shake and it doesn't disturb it. And he said to me, he says, "You can't believe how many good waves I get every day."
Good for Jack.
Yeah.
It's called cliff surfing.
I love that story, though. You know what's awesome is, how old's Jack now? 90?
92.
92 now?
Yeah.
Still stoked on surfing.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's probably the best self-promoter I've ever met. I learned a lot from him. He tried to get me to do a lot of this stuff with him in the early days, like flying that balloon in the air. No way, because he always crashed, and he always made the front page. But he's a good guy. It's good to see him.
And he's still surfing.
Still surfing.
Doug, you still surfing?
And when I can, yeah.
Huh? People getting out of your way? It's royalty coming through.
No.
No, they're not.
No.
Not at all?
I do okay when I go out there, yeah.
TC, what do you got?
Well, you guys have traveled a bunch together. And each of you, I'm sure, has one trip that would stick out as being the best. Wow. We'll go with Richard first because his memory's better. Doug, you think about it.
I got a couple.
All right, Novak.
Let him go first.
No.
Okay. I would say probably one of the most memorable trips was, there's two of them that are actually pretty memorable. That were, I don't know about the surf, but they were memorable. One was France.
Oh, yeah.
That was a pretty good one. We met this guy, Baron Spafford, over there, and then we met Mike Diffenderfer over there, and we spent the fall surfing.
Jerry Lopez.
We were all over. It was pretty. We were all going for La Bar, big. And then the other one, which was really weird, was El Salvador, because we got into El Salvador at the wrong time.
Wrong time being
right before the revolution, which was good.
Did you start the damn thing?
Well, we had this guy. He was in the Salvadorian Air Force, and we said, "Well, what are you going to do when the revolution comes?" He says, "Well, I'm taking my plane and we're flying left." I says, "Oh, good."
Wow. And so in France, then not many surfers when you guys were there.
No, there's nobody there. And then we found a guy from Santa Cruz that had dysentery, so we helped him into the hospital. We also helped him with his car. We kept care of it, and then we drove all through Spain and Portugal.
We put the miles on.
And searched for, we'd find a arroyo or a river mouth, and we'd go take this Volkswagen van down there. And so let's just say it wasn't in the same shape when we brought it back to him than it was when we left.
What year was France trip, you think?
I think it was 73, I think.
Wow, 73 in France must have been amazing.
It was right after the vacation, which is August. So you get there in September, October, and there's nobody there.
So 73, you guys were probably planning the NHS Empire during that time.
No, we were planning surfing.
I'm sure.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
And, now what's Doug Haut? What's your story? Best trip together.
I can't do it.
All that.
He'll kill me.
Give us the short version.
No.
Not to be told.
It was a Salvadorian trip, but it was a memorial experience of watching Richard do what he had to do.
Let's just say that we drank too much orange juice in the town of San Salvador, or La Libertad.
Oh, boy.
And a bus ride home.
Oh, jeez.
All right, well, if you don't want to get into
We
it.
had a house right on the beach. We had our own swimming pool, surf break right in front. What did we pay?
$75 a month.
$75 a month with a maid.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You got to take a break or something?
No. I got a correction to make. I got texting in here corrections.
Mm-hmm.
No one, quote unquote, no one's a better self-promoter than Mr. Rich Novak.
Wow.
Ooh, good.
Well, I mean, you created a marketing empire, so I agree with that.
But you had to learn from somebody.
But before we forget, North Bay Ford, the new sponsor, your buddy Jeff Winterholder.
Yep,
Get a shout out for Jeff.
Yeah, no, I mean, those guys take care of my race car, too.
Right.
They're good guys.
And it's truck month. It's this month's truck month. So if you need a new truck, Mr. Haut, a new truck, North Bay Ford, truck month this month. Get down and get yourself a good deal on a truck.
I just got a truck there, and Jeff took great care of me.
Sweet.
Yeah, I love my new truck. It's great. A couple things I wanted to bring up real quick with you, Richard, is the 80s are well represented in your new museum.
We just did the 70s and 80s. And then we're going to do the 90s and 2000s later.
That's going to be another installment? Expanding the museum?
Expanding the museum. But we had so much material, we decided to stick with just the 70s and 80s.
Do you ever just walk through there and trip out?
Well, today I did a tour with these suits.
I walked up today and saw this bunch of suits
and
coming out
so I
of there.
did this tour, and I was talking to him and stuff. And I didn't realize that the one guy was the head of Co-America for the United States.
Oh, wow. Look at you, VIP.
Hey, I'm big time.
Earlier you said bankers wouldn't talk to you. Now look at them.
They're all over me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Reed Geisreiter, he's been with me since 89, and he's helped me out quite a lot.
And I head to after the show, along with all our guests usually.
Mm-hmm.
So head down to Point Chop House, get yourself a good meal, and we'll see you down there in a little bit. Next week we have on the show an NHS employee. Mr. Jeff Kendall is in the house next week. So we got Jeff Kendall stories next week.
Novak, you might have to call in next week.
I think that may be a call-in.
Some heckling.
I'd like to say one thing before we
Sure,
leave
go
the
right
show.
ahead.
I think that I like Terry's idea of dedicating the show to Tony Micocci, and I'd just like to give all of our condolences to Tony and Tony's family.
Absolutely.
For the loss of a great Santa Cruz eel.
Okay.
Amen.
The show
I like
is
that.
dedicated to him.
Yeah.
TC, another great show. I want to thank Bubba for coming down tonight. And as our audience, I want to thank Mr. Doug Haut. It's always an honor having you in the show. Mr. Novak, it's always a pleasure.
It always goes by so quick.
I want to thank all our sponsors. I want to thank Chris, our engineer tonight. TC, great
thank
job,
you,
my
Neil.
friend. See you next week with another Off the Lip Radio show when Jeff Kendall is in the house. Good night.
Woo.
Your source for news, sports, traffic, and weather.